Hello, 7th grade students, and welcome to Monday, January the 18th, and our lesson for intransitive linking verbs. If you do not have your book, please grab that, some paper, a pencil for taking notes, and we will open up to page 199. So we have talked about all kinds of verb categories, and the most recent one that we talked about was transitive, and in that we talked about seeing the action in your head, and so this is going to be a little bit of an opposite of that. So let's get started with the gray box. I don't think this lesson will take long. We will do a few of the class practice at the end, and I continue to have my prize choices, and if I get to the dollar store, who knows what I could come in with. So anyway, let's open up to page 199 and begin with the gray box. If you do not have your book for some reason, I do have the gray box right in front of you on the screen. An intransitive linking verb expresses a condition or state of being. It has no action to pass to a receiver. Mom baked Dad a cake. We know that the baked gets passed to the direct object. But with our intransitive linking verbs, we don't pass any action. So you're not looking for a direct or indirect object. You will be looking for something, but not the direct and indirect object. So the second bullet point there, an intransitive linking verb may link the subject to a predicate nominative or predicate adjective. So that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for a direct object or indirect object. Now you're looking for the predicate nominative or adjective. You're just repeating. So if I said Jesus is king, then Jesus and king are the words that are both being used to describe him. I could say Jesus is loving. Loving is an adjective that describes him. So that's how the predicate nominative and predicate adjective work. So you're not asking the what question in the same way. You can still ask it. But as soon as you throw an intransitive linking verb in there, it's not direct or indirect object. It's predicate nominative or adjective. Okay. A linking verb followed by an adjective must not be confused with an action verb followed by a direct object or an adverb. So I already kind of spoke about that. With your transitive, you're looking for direct or indirect objects. With your intransitive linking verbs, you are looking for predicate nominatives or adjectives. That might be something good to put in your notes or to put on a little index card. Okay, let's move on to my next slide. These are most likely the verbs where you cannot see the action in your head. The words like am, is, are, be, being, been, was, and were, those are most likely those linking verbs. There's a few others that get thrown in there, but these are the ones that generally are going to link. Think about that, linking a predicate nominative or adjective to whatever the subject was. Also, sense words can mask and be linking verbs. Words like tastes, this tastes good. Pizza tastes good. Notice, pizza is the subject, tastes is the verb, but good is an adjective that comes after that. So sometimes those sense words, even though you can see the action in your head, they are going to be masked. They're kind of like little intruders. They seem like they should be something else, but they are the intransitive linking. And we're going to look at some of those at the end. All right, I think it's always so much easier just to look at the diagramming, look at the pictures. And so if you turn to page 200, and you look about a third of the way down to the page, we're going to see these predicate nominatives and adjectives that are linked together. That's where intransitive linking comes in. So in this one, God will be the ultimate victor. So who will be the ultimate victor? That's God. What will God do? Will be. But then here, this word right here, this verb, is obviously linking. You can't see that action in your head. So we don't have a direct object or indirect object that's coming after that. Instead, we have the backslash. Look at this as part of that linking. It's linking you over here. Okay, so it's not straight up and down like a direct object, but it's backslashing so that it links you to God. God is the victor. And this is a noun, and so it connects us to God, and so we have a predicate nominative there. So or up here, they actually have the equal sign. So I like to remember this as backslashing so that it's linking us to whatever the subject was. Okay, let's look at another one. This one is 2 down there on your page 200. And again, Jesus is Savior and Lord. And, I'm not a big fan of all of these passive linking type verbs, but used appropriately and not overdone, they're fine. And so here we have the word is. We have Jesus is, and here's that backslash again, backslashing us over here. And so we get 2 more words that describe him, Savior and Lord. And so Jesus equals Savior and Lord. In this case, those are both nouns, so they're predicate nominatives. All right. Sorry again for my wonky picture. This one, these mottos look especially attractive. Now here comes one of those words that likes to mask. Because you can say, well, I can see the word looks in my head. I can see that action. But in this case, the word look is taking on one of those sense word, it's just kind of coming in and doing one of the linking verb functions. Mottos look, and then we have the backslash right here, and attractive. In this case, attractive is going to be an adjective describing mottos. So look, and then a few other ones, tastes, tasted, grew can also be one. So just be aware of those, and you just might have to ask a few more questions just to make sure that you know what you're talking about on all that. All right. Another one, Joel has become thoughtful and patient. Yeah, that's the right sentence. Joel has become. Joel is our subject, has become. Again, I can't see that action in my head. These are a couple of be verbs or the linking verbs. Here's the backslash. So whenever I have a boring verb that I can't see in my head, chances are I've got a backslash. Let's remember that. And then thoughtful and patient are actually adjectives telling us about him. And so hopefully use some of these examples, hold on to them, refer back to them when you do your homework, just to make sure you're getting that backslash in there correctly. All right, and then here are a couple of the others that I mentioned, the other words that look like they should be action in your head type of words, but because of what comes after them, they're actually kind of masking as linking verbs. The milk tastes good. So after the word tastes is the word good. That's an adjective. And so therefore it is it's describing milk. And so in this case you have to say, well, this is going to be one of those intransitive word or linking verbs that's masking. Then if you look at a different form of taste, we tasted the milk. Look at this. We tasted what? There's a noun at the end of the sentence. In this case, it's a direct object, and it's a transitive. So these kinds of things can really trip you up. The next one, the grass grew lush and green. Well, these are adjectives. You guys should know that. Describing grass. So this one's going to be an intransitive linking because we've got all these adjectives back here. But then if I went down here and said the grass grew rapidly, it becomes a different kind of intransitive verb, and we'll talk about that more. So you have to look at these and how they're used because the English language has a different rule for every word, every form of a word. So just be really careful. So that's all I have for you. So now let's take a look at our class practice. So turn to page 201. At the bottom of the page, we are going to do class practice A. And if you write this down and turn it in, then we'll see what my search at the dollar store shows up. So you can grab a prize maybe from my little prize box. So let's look at this. It says read each linking verb and tell what word it links. Okay, so it wants to get you into the habit of looking for what it links. Lazarus became very sick. So take a minute and write that down. And hopefully you have recognized that became is the verb and it connects Lazarus with sick. Now, what I want you to do is hit pause and do the remaining 5, and then we'll come back and get the answers. So go ahead and hit pause and do those, and then we'll check them. Okay, so if you're back, you have completed the class practice. Remember, bringing these in is, you never know what it's going to yield you. It could yield you a prize, could yield you a coupon for half homework, you never know. So this one, he was Mary and Martha's brother. The answer to that one, the verb is was, and it connects he with brother. Not Mary and Martha, it connects it with brother. Mary seemed troubled and distressed at Jesus' absence. Seemed is the verb, and it connects Mary with troubled and distressed. So sometimes people look at troubled and distressed because they have EDs on the end. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's the verb. It's not. They're actually adjectives describing Mary, and they're connected by the word seemed. Number 4, Jesus felt sorrowful at the sadness of others. The verb there is felt, and it connects Jesus with sorrowful. At the sadness of others is prepositional phrase and couldn't even be considered as part of the connection. Jesus is the resurrection and the life. Is your verb, and it's connecting Jesus with resurrection and life. There's 2 words there that describe him, or that are nouns that reinforce who he is. And then number 6, the best friend of all is he. And is your verb, and it's connecting friend and he. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions or are not sure about the material, please send me an email or jot yourself a little note so that you can ask it in school on Wednesday, and I will see you then.